Hi, I'm Jacob Clark. I did a presentation on ADHD. I felt that it was an appropriate topic to do because I also am diagnosed with ADHD. For people that don't know what ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder that can present itself through inattentiveness and hyperactive impulsiveness, or just a combination of the two. While there's no set way to see if you have the condition, medical professionals look at how the person acts and behaves. They check to see how well they follow detail on how they do listening to instructions and going through with them. In addition to like how hyperactive and impulsive they are, and that's how they make their diagnosis on if you have ADHD or not. According to the McGovern Institute of Brain Research, about 60% of people respond favorably to the first stimulant that they are prescribed, and if they aren't happy with the stimulant medication, a non-stimulant is usually prescribed after, if they decide that they do not like the stimulant. The only problem with the stimulant is that they can have like side effects like irritability, fatigue, or insomnia, where like you won't be able to fall back asleep if you do fall asleep. And some of the characterizations of ADHD, like how the symptoms of ADHD is like paying attention in some cases, extreme hyperactivity. Someone with ADHD may experience either attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder. ADHD is usually diagnosed during childhood, but it can also be identified the first time in adulthood. When I was diagnosed, I was in the very beginning of 6th grade. I figured out that I had ADHD. Some other symptoms that you can get for having ADHD is a lack of focus, fidgeting, difficulty staying seated, like you're always moving around wanting to do something. You have an overactive personality. You're very forgetful, always forgetting like the smallest little details about something. You're always talking out of turn. You'll be talking when the teacher's talking, like you're not supposed to. You get behavior problems. You can also be very impulsive, do not very wise decisions very quickly. Another study also found that certain areas of the brain were smaller in the children with severe ADHD than regular children in general. They had smaller frontal lobes, which changed the impulse control, inhibition, motor activity, and concentration. And researchers also looked at the differences in white and gray matter in children without ADHD. And white matter consists of the axons, or the fibers, the nerve fibers. Gray matter is the outer layer of the brain. Researchers found that people with ADHD may have different neuron pathways as compared to like a regular child. The neuron pathways are in a different pathway. Impulsive, and that gives you more impulsive behavior, changes in attention, inhibition, how you pay attention, how you act when you go and do something, and your motor activity. And there's the different pathways might pretty much explain why people with ADHD have some behavioral issues and learning difficulties. Is they have to learn a different kind of way as compared to how like regular kids learn. They have to do it other ways. Some people, they just can sit there and read a book and they already know everything, whereas others people with ADHD have to like watch videos about it. And since there is no cure for ADHD, treatment is necessary to improve your quality of life and keep you happy and not upset with yourself that you can't just focus on one task and get one task done. So often what they are prescribed are the stimulants, which changes how the brain fires the neurons and helps kind of create a better pathway for you to learn and pay attention with. When it comes to effective ADHD management, prescription medications are usually the first line of treatment instead of figuring out if they need to change something at home, if they're watching TV too much, playing video games, not in a very strict household. Or a lot of times people with ADHD could have been exposed, their mother could have drank, smoked, done some kind of drug while they were pregnant with the child that has ADHD, and that could also change how the brain works for them, giving them ADHD. And just an average amount of people that get ADHD It's roughly 8 million of adults in the United States have the disorder too. Nearly 5% of children in America are diagnosed with ADHD as kids, and 60% of these children continue to display signs of ADHD into adulthood. And that is my presentation on ADHD.